Welcome to the third part of my Sonic CD US soundtrack theory. In my last part, I talked about how Wacky Workbench Past fits in with the US soundtrack. For this part, I'm going to talk about how Tidal Tempest Past fits with the US soundtrack, including the US Tidal Tempest tracks. Anyway, let's start going through the music track of Tidal Tempest Past and compare it to the overall soundtrack. The track begins by having the main melody play in, which is the same main melody as in all the Japanese Tidal Tempest tracks. The style of this melody likely inspired the choir melody used in Stardust Speedway Good Future. This same section also has a piano harmony, which might have inspired the repeating vocals used in Quartz Quadrant Good Future and Wacky Workbench Present. This section also uses a more general type of harmony that could have inspired the harmony used in the Speed Shoes theme. Another type of harmony used as well in this section is a simple marimba harmony, which could have inspired the use of the marimba-styled melody in Punchy Panic Good Future. Bass is used throughout most of this track, which could have inspired the bass used in the US Collision Chaos tracks and Stardust Speedway Good Future. The track then goes into the next section where it uses a harp melody that likely inspired the Celeste melodies used in the Stardust Speedway Good Future tracks and the Special Stage theme. This section also uses a quick ominous harmony that likely inspired the long guitar notes used in the special stage theme. This track would later go into a different melody that likely inspired the type of melody that is used throughout Stardust Speedway present. This section also uses a watery sounding harmony that could have inspired the vocals used in the beginning of Tidal Tempest Present. Lastly, the track then just plays the main drum set, which most likely inspired the solo drum sections used in the US Palm Tree Panic tracks and Wacky Workbench future tracks. Now let's move on to comparing the US Tidal Tempest tracks to the past track, starting with the present theme. The track mainly starts with the bass that is likely meant to be an arrangement of the piano harmony from the past track. Then after the opening, it plays a funky guitar harmony that could actually be meaning to be an arrangement of the main melody of the past track. It also then uses an acoustic guitar harmony that could have been based on the marimba harmony from the past track. The track then starts to play the main vocals that are likely meant to be an arrangement of the piano harmony from the past track. A part of the main vocals could also be an arrangement of the melody of the second half of Tidal Tempest Past. There is also a Celeste melody that goes along with the vocals and is possibly an arrangement of the bass from the past track. The track track then goes into the next section and starts with a harmony that is likely meant to be based on the harmony of the midsection of the past track. This section uses vocals that, like the vocals in part of the last section, is likely an arrangement of the melody within the second half of the past track. The vocals could also partially be an arrangement of the harp melody from the past track. The track then goes into a reprised version of the first section of the track. This section begins with a melody that is probably meant to be an arrangement of the harmony used in the last section of the past track. Then it plays the same vocals from before. Interestingly, the album version begins with a solo drum section, much like how Tidal Tempest Past uses a solo drum section. Now let's move on to comparing Tidal Tempest Good Future to the past track. The track starts with a simple melody that is likely meant to be an arrangement of the general harmony used in the first half of the past track. This beginning section uses a harmony that is likely based on the harmony used in the midsection of the past track. This section also starts to use an occasional electronic melody that might meant to be an arrangement of the harmony used in the second half of Tidal Tempest Past. In this track, you can also hear the bass, which sounds way more like an arrangement of the bass from the past track. Then at the next section, it starts to use a brass melody that sounds more like an arrangement of the main melody of the past track. This section also uses a funky guitar harmony that is likely meant to be an arrangement of the piano harmony from the past track. This section also starts to use vocals. Then the track goes into a section that uses an electric guitar solo. This guitar solo is probably meant to be an arrangement of the melody used in the second half of Tidal Tempest Past. This section also uses a guitar harmony that might be based on the marimba harmony used in the first half of the Past track. The track then goes back to the previous section with the brass melody. Now let's move on to comparing Tidal Tempest Bad Future to the Past track. In the beginning of this track and throughout, it uses a choir harmony that is likely meant to be an arrangement of the same general harmony that was arranged in the beginning of the Good Future track. There is also the bass of this track, which, like the bass of the present theme, could be an arrangement of the piano harmony of the Past track. This track then starts to play in long guitar notes that are likely meant to be based on the harmony used in the midsection of the Past track. The track would then occasionally play in a Celeste melody that is probably based on the harp melody from the Past track. This track then, as it changes pitch, starts to use repeating vocals that could be based on the harmony used in the last section of the Past track. The track would keep having the repeated vocals until it goes back to the similar beginning section from before. And those were all the comparisons I have found between Tidal Tempest Past and the US soundtrack. Like I've said in previous videos, I hope anyone who watches through this video will share it around, no matter if you agree or disagree with all of this. And now I have 4 parts left of this series. Anyway, I will see you in the next part.